Welcome to Vacuum Wars, and to our review of the Shark PowerDetect UV Reveal Robot Vacuum. This model is Shark's latest flagship robot, with some new and interesting features that make it stand out in the lineup. The UV Reveal gets its name from an innovative UV light that helps it to see stains that would be invisible to the naked eye. When the UV Reveal sees these stains, it triggers another mopping pass to better remove the proteins and residues. We bought this one and ran it through several kinds of tests over the last few weeks, and in a lot of ways, it was the most impressive Shark robot we have ever tested. In this review, we'll go over the pros and the cons of this new model and reveal whether its big jumps in performance helped it land a spot on our top 20 robot vacuum list on our website, vacuumwars.com. So, links are in the description, and let's get started. Beginning with the basics. The Shark PowerDetect UV Reveal is a vacuum and mop combo robot that comes with a bagless base station and several high-end automations. It sits at the top of the Shark robot lineup, with a list price of about $1,300, although it can be found on sale for less. For context, we'll compare the UV Reveal with our scores for Shark's previous flagship model, the PowerDetect 2-in-1, with the Never Touch Pro dock. Moving on to the pros. There were a lot of big wins for this model, and I'll start with its vacuuming. It uses a single main brush and a fixed side brush that's paired with Shark's Edge Detect technology, which uses blasts of air to blow debris from edges and corners and into the robot's suction path. The design is basically the same as the earlier PowerDetect 2-in-1 flagship, and the testing results showed that the two robots scored very closely to one another in a lot of our vacuuming tests. The UV Reveal did a great job in our basic sweeping tests, and it was able to remove debris of many different sizes from the surfaces of both hard floors and carpets. That great performance continued into our carpet deep clean test, where we embed fine grit into medium pile carpet and weigh how much the robot is able to remove. This model got a high score of 88%, which is very similar to the score on the PowerDetect, and significantly better than the average robot in our testing data. Next, we put it through our pet hair pickup test, where we flattened 2.5-inch hair onto carpet to mimic real-world conditions. The vacuum did an exceptional job here as well, scoring well above average and above the PowerDetect Pro. The UV Reveal's suction and airflow bench test numbers are at or near the average, and these scores were also very close to the preceding flagship's numbers in both tests. Another huge pro was the UV Reveal's obstacle avoidance. This model uses an RGB camera and 3D sensors with Shark's new NeuroNav AI to help it detect and avoid obstacles. This new system did a phenomenal job in our obstacle avoidance tests. Between our standard tests and our torture test, the UV Reveal successfully avoided 20 out of 24 total objects, an enormous performance leap from the older PowerDetect and the highest score we've ever seen on a Shark robot. The battery life was another big pro. Its battery efficiency in our studio tests got a much higher than average score, and more than doubled the score of the original PowerDetect. The LiDAR-based navigation system gave it an efficiency score that was right around the average, which was another improvement over the older model. Between its respectable navigation and very high battery score, the Shark UV Reveal could cover an estimated 2,093 square feet per charge, which is a huge jump over the much lower floor coverage of its predecessor. The dock is a big pro, with a lot of hands-off automations. One highlight feature is the bagless auto-empty dustbin, which can be hard to find on robot vacuums. Bagless designs are preferred by users who want to keep the cost of consumables down, especially if they tend to go through disposable bags very quickly. A lot of the filters on the dock are also washable, which reduces the ongoing cost of robot maintenance even more. And there's an odor neutralizing module to keep things smelling fresher. The mop washing station cleans the mop pad with 185-degree Fahrenheit water, which is 85 degrees Celsius, and dries it with 175-degree Fahrenheit air, or 79 Celsius. And the robot can leave its mop pad on the dock for vacuum-only passes, which is a great feature for keeping rugs and carpets dry. This brings us to the mopping pros. The UV Reveal uses a flat mop pad and introduces Shark's hypersonic mopping, which scrubs the floor at an extremely high vibration rate that they say is 7 times as fast as the earlier flagship. In addition to the mop drop feature, the mop pad can also lift 20 millimeters to protect carpets. The UV Reveal's headline feature is the UV light, which allows it to see residual stains from multiple mopping passes in a more thorough clean. In our dried-on coffee test, the mopping system was very effective, scoring 183 points, which is extremely high compared to the average of 94. But this high score came at a pretty big price. And that leads us into the cons. The first con, and the one that hurt the UV Reveal's ranking the most, is its incredibly high water usage. On its lowest setting, it left behind more than 3 times the average amount of water. And on its medium setting, it went up to 5 times the average, tying it for the #1 highest water penalty of all time. Because of that, its combined mopping score was very low. We wondered if maybe the mop pad would dry out if it had more room than our typical testing area, or that maybe on a larger surface it would dissipate more. But when we tested this theory, the floors stayed noticeably wet, and in some cases, it took well over 30 minutes or more for the floor to fully dry. Part of this issue seems to be the flat mop pad design. Flat pads are simply harder to wring out than spinning pads or rollers, and over the course of a cleaning cycle, this pad became more saturated and started dripping, with no mechanical way to remove that excess water. We squeezed out the mop before a run and tested it on the lowest water setting, but it still left behind nearly 4 grams of water on the floor, which is extremely high by our standards and makes the robot prone to leaving streaks behind. On the plus side, your floors are going to come out very clean, and if you're not seeing streaks, it may not be a problem for you. Another con was with the UV Reveal's Anti-Tangle main brush. We test Anti-Tangle systems with 7-inch long hair, and the UV Reveal didn't really impress, with 29% of the hairs wrapping around the brush. This is very similar to the score we saw on the PowerDetect, and even though they're both hitting right around the average, we'd prefer to see a more reliable Anti-Tangle system at this price point. The robot's height is also a bit of a con, standing at 4.1 inches, which is 104 millimeters. And that might limit its access under beds and couches. The Shark app is another con, and the app experience continues to be a repeating complaint for us. There's very little control over the robot, without bin settings, no mop zones, or the room customizations that we're used to seeing on modern robot apps. It's also one of the few brands that doesn't offer multi-level mapping. This means that the Shark app has huge room for improvement, and Shark keeps lagging behind in this regard. And the last con I'll mention, which is a little more nitpicky, is the threshold climbing, which is officially listed at 1 inch, or 24.5 millimeters. In our threshold test, the robot came over the 19 millimeter barrier with no problems, but it failed attempts to climb 25 millimeters, which is really just a rounding error over the official limit. So you'll want to think of that 1 inch ceiling as a pretty firm number. When we added up all the test scores and features, we found that the UV Reveal was the best robot vacuum Shark has released to date. And it did indeed slip into our top 20 robot vacuums list, the first time a Shark has done that in over a year. The competition is pretty stiff this year, and it looks like Shark took some real steps forward, with a high obstacle avoidance score and some impressive vacuuming. If you can tolerate the amount of water it's going to leave behind, the UV Reveal is by far the best option in the Shark robot lineup. To see this and all our favorite robots, be sure to check out our top 20 robot vacuums list. Don't forget to subscribe to Vacuum Wars before you go. Thanks for watching. Vacuum Wars independently tests new vacuums year-round, and the links in the description are updated regularly to reflect our latest top picks across multiple categories. You'll also find detailed rankings on the Vacuum Wars website, including our top 20 robot vacuums, top cordless vacuums, and more. Every review here is unsponsored, just honest results. Subscribe so you never miss one, and tap the next video to keep watching.